Welcome to AnimaBixos. Okay, let's dive straight into this. I want you to imagine you're standing at the edge of a murky river. The water is perfectly still, dead quiet, and then suddenly, without a single ripple, a pair of cold, ancient eyes breaks the surface. What you're looking at right there, that isn't just an animal. You are staring down one of the largest, most imposing reptilian predators on planet Earth. Absolutely. We're talking about a creature that has literally stalked our planet's waterways, virtually unchanged for millions of years. Today's explainer is a deep dive into the absolute ultimate apex predators. And honestly, to truly grasp the sheer scale of their evolutionary triumph, you have to ask yourself one question. How exactly do you survive an extinction-level asteroid? Think about it. 66 million years ago, the sky burned, the Earth shattered, and the towering dinosaurs were completely wiped from existence.
Right. The world was essentially ending. Yet, beneath the suffocating ash and the boiling waters, these living dinosaurs literally just held their breath and waited it out. They didn't just survive the apocalypse, they shrugged it off. They completely outlived the massive prehistoric giants that once terrorized the land.
Exactly. And to understand how they actually pulled that off, we really have to look at their biomechanics. Because these animals aren't just lucky survivors. They're the absolute definition of a prehistoric juggernaut.
Oh, for sure. From snout to tail, they are flawless, armor-plated, perfect survival machines. It's like evolution looked at their biological blueprint millions of years ago, realized it had achieved absolute, terrifying perfection, and just stopped making changes. Today, we're going to break down the exact physics of what makes their anatomy so flawlessly lethal.
So, here's the roadmap for today's explainer. We'll start with Os dinosaurs vivos naturales. Then, deconstruct their bite in A prensa hydraulic viva. After that, we'll decode the factions, crocodile, jacare, ou gavial. Then we mate Os titans mais perigosos. And finally, we'll analyze their signature attack, o brutal giro da morte. All right, jumping right into Chapter 1. Os dinosaurs vivos naturais, tracing the ultimate survival timeline. So the crucial point here is why they haven't needed to adapt or change, and it all comes down to this deeply terrifying anatomy. You know those incredibly thick, ridged scales covering their backs? Those aren't just normal scales. Those are osteoderms. We are talking about actual heavy, dense bone deposits deeply embedded directly within their skin.
Right. They essentially interlock to act as a natural biological bulletproof vest. It protects them from rival predators, crushing bites, and extreme environmental hazards. But the defense is only half the story. Look at their sensory placement. Their eyes, their ears, their nostrils, they are all mounted perfectly at the very top of their skull. This brilliant biological design allows this massive creature to remain 99% submerged. They achieve total, silent invisibility while maintaining a full radar lock on everything happening above the surface. They are the ultimate stealth ambush predators, built exactly like heavily armored submarines.
Moving on to Chapter 2, A prensa hydraulica viva, the biomechanics of crushing brutality. Okay, let's talk numbers, because when we analyze the biomechanics of their bite, we are looking at sheer, unparalleled crushing brutality. They possess the absolute strongest bite-closing force of any living animal in the world. Their jaws act precisely like a living hydraulic press. We're talking about the power to easily shatter heavy, solid turtle shells and thick mammalian bones like their dry little twigs. It's unbelievable power. But here is where we find a really bizarre, almost comical evolutionary irony. While the muscles designed to violently snap those jaws shut are immense and entirely overpowered, the muscles exclusively designed to actually open those jaws, they are incredibly fragile. Which brings us to this absolutely hilarious biological fact. Because those mouth-opening muscles are so notoriously weak, a reasonably fit human could theoretically keep this monster's jaws entirely clamped shut using just a single roll of basic household duct tape.
Seriously, think about that. You have this perfect survival machine, millions of years of evolution, capable of snapping bones in half, defeated by office supplies. It's a fascinating vulnerability. But applying that duct tape actually requires getting within inches of a prehistoric juggernaut without it snapping its jaws shut first.
Yeah, which is a biological experiment we highly recommend you avoid. Let's get into Chapter 3, Crocodile, Jacare, ou Gavial, decoding the deadly factions. All right, let's break down the precise morphological differences between these armored machines because they are very distinct. First up, the alligator. It features a broader U-shaped snout. This is heavily engineered for maximum crushing power in freshwater environments, like the dense swamps of the American South. And notice how its lower teeth are completely hidden when the mouth is closed.
Now, contrast that entirely with the crocodile. The croc sports a highly hydrodynamic, narrow V-shaped snout, and crucially, those terrifying lower teeth, they protrude visibly even when the jaw is shut incredibly tight. It just looks menacing. Furthermore, crocodiles possess highly specialized lingual salt glands right on their tongues.
That is an incredible biological upgrade. It allows them to process and expel excess salt, which grants them the unique ability to actually survive and hunt in the open ocean. Because of this marine capability, crocodiles are generally faster, far more aggressive, and biologically equipped for much harsher, unforgiving environments. And then there is the gavial, or gharial. This is the bizarre outcast of the family tree. Seriously, if the crocodile is a heavy, impenetrable battle tank, the gavial is a highly calibrated sniper rifle.
That's the perfect way to put it. It features an incredibly long, razor-thin snout that is heavily populated with interlocking, needle-like teeth. This highly specialized evolution drastically reduces water resistance. It allows the gavial to whip its head sideways through the river at absolute blinding speeds just to catch fast-moving fish. It's a completely different, highly optimized type of aquatic hunter. You wouldn't mistake it for anything else.
All right, Chapter 4, Os Titãs Mais Perigosos. Time to meet the absolute heavyweight champions. Let's look at the combat stats of the Nile crocodile. This creature is the African river nightmare. They are fiercely territorial and rely heavily on those stealth ambush tactics we talked about earlier. But the Nile crocodile doesn't settle for small fish, not even close.
No, they regularly hunt massive, heavy-duty prey. We're talking wild boar, fully grown wildebeests, and zebras that make the mistake of coming to the riverbanks to drink. I really want you to picture the sheer explosive power required here, launching a heavily armored body out of the water, locking onto a thrashing, panicked zebra, and violently dragging it, kicking and screaming back down into the murky depths to drown. It requires an absolutely unmatched level of predatory muscle and cold, brutal calculation.
Yet, incredibly, the Nile crocodile isn't even the largest. That title belongs to the undisputed king of living reptiles, the saltwater crocodile. And this number perfectly illustrates the sheer, terrifying scale of this titan. 6
meters in length. That is nearly 20 feet of heavily armored prehistoric muscle, silently patrolling the coasts and estuaries of the Indo-Pacific. It's almost hard to wrap your head around an animal that big just vanishing into muddy water.
And here is the other heavy stat, 1,000. Weighing well over 1,000 kilograms, that is more than a metric ton. This apex titan is so devastatingly powerful, its diet isn't restricted to land animals. This is wild. Saltwater crocodiles have been extensively documented hunting, killing, and eating sharks that make the fatal mistake of wandering into their coastal territories. When a predator gets so impossibly massive that it starts casually snacking on great white and bull sharks, you know you are looking at the absolute undisputed pinnacle of the food chain.
Which leads us to Chapter 5, O Brutal Giro da Morte, the legendary signature attack. We need to heavily deconstruct this brutal physics equation because it's horrifyingly efficient. It begins with step 1, the stealth ambush. They utilize that perfectly evolved 99% submerged invisibility to get right within striking distance.
Then comes step 2, the drag. They use their crushing weight and that living hydraulic press bite to pull the panicked animal forcefully underwater to drown it. But here is a critical biomechanical flaw. Crocodile teeth are actually designed like smooth pegs. They're built just to hold prey. They literally cannot chew. They cannot shear meat side to side like a mammal would.
Right, so for step 3, to actually tear bite-sized chunks from a massive carcass, they have to execute a violent rotational spin. Using their massive tail and sheer body weight, they rapidly roll in the water. They utilize raw centrifugal force and incredible torque to brutally twist and rip meat and bone right off the prey. It is a terrifying masterpiece of applied physics, the infamous death roll.
Yet, despite this deeply terrifying reputation, these juggernauts are absolutely vital to our world. As crucial ecosystem kings, they are the strict regulators of their habitats. By constantly controlling populations of fish, crustaceans, and large grazing herbivores,
They single-handedly maintain the delicate biological balance of entire river and estuarine systems.
Exactly. Without these heavily armored apex predators, these intricate aquatic ecosystems would rapidly overpopulate and eventually collapse into total chaos. So they aren't just monsters, they are nature's heavy-duty caretakers.
Which brings us to the end of our AnimaBixos explainer today. But we want to leave you with a high-stakes, real-world hypothetical. Let's say you're taking a scenic, peaceful walk by an estuary in Australia, and suddenly a 20-foot saltwater crocodile violently erupts from the water right in front of you. Fight or flight? Do you calmly pull out that roll of household duct tape we mentioned earlier and try to clamp down on a prehistoric juggernaut? Or do you instantly attempt to shatter the human world sprinting record in the exact opposite direction? We really want to know your survival strategy. Drop your answer in the comments below. And hey, if you enjoyed this biomechanical deep dive into the natural world's ultimate predators, make sure to subscribe to the AnimaBixos channel so you never miss another explainer. Until next time, respect the water and stay wild.